I was born March 9th, 1961, at LaGrange's City County Hospital, which is now Wellstar West Georgia Medical Center. The third of three girls. I was very fortunate to have great big sisters and a great family line. I lived here until my parents divorced when I was 3 years old, and then we moved to Cincinnati. And then my mother decided to come back to LaGrange. And I think I'm forever grateful that she did make that decision, because having the opportunity to live in a big-time city like Cincinnati, it played a key role in my development. But when we got back to LaGrange, both my grandmothers were still here. And I got a lot of my fire from both of them. And LaGrange, the community always supported and encouraged me. So a lot of people made me the Norma that I am today. And that's been the blessing of being back here. So I had great role models to follow. From an early age, I knew that my heart was with people, learning from people and learning about people, learning how I could help people. I learned after high school and going into the Navy. That was perhaps one of my biggest adventures, going into the Navy, because I've always loved traveling and just meeting people. I ended up going to pharmacy tech school. Right after basic training, went down to Orlando for 8 weeks of boot camp. Those 8 weeks seemed like 8 years, but I did graduate. And one of the things the Navy says, you hear the story of never again volunteer yourself. That's what Navy represents. But I chose to do just the opposite. I always volunteer. So I graduated with honors and moved on to Corps School, Navy Hospital Corps School at Great Lakes, Illinois. When we got there, it was just the greatest things, because you met people and it was an instant bond. That's one thing about the military. It doesn't matter whether it's Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard, whatever. It's like family. It's a connection that you can't explain. It just is, because you know you've been away from your loved ones at one time. You've had to learn to depend on people that you didn't know and trust them. So I think that's a part of the military bond that develops, because you know you've been through some of the same things. I did 6 years of active duty. The Navy was great, and now it's even better because I stayed in long enough to retire. And as a single mom, it was a blessing to be able to share my military experiences with Jacob, my son, my true pride and joy. I believe one of a parent's greatest joys is we all want our kids to grow up and be self-sufficient and productive citizens, law-abiding citizens. But when you have a child and they respect you enough to kind of choose your same career path, that's extra special. The biggest part that I'll say about my life in LaGrange is that there's an endless list of opportunities to give back to the community and to connect to the community. So I've always tried to stay involved. One path led me to my opportunity with the city of LaGrange as a member of LaGrange City Council. That was a joy and something that, a badge of honor that I wear, because for our community, for the city of LaGrange, I was the second of only 2 women who've ever served on LaGrange City Council. And me being the first woman of color, the first African-American female elected to serve on city council was historic and, as I say, a badge of honor for me to be able to say that I represent the city of LaGrange and represent my community, District 2. I've always, again, the Navy taught me, never again volunteer yourself, but every time I heard that, it said, you must volunteer yourself because it connects you to people. But a lot of volunteer opportunities. We've been working in my neighborhood, Belline community. We're trying to get everybody together to try to see how we can move our neighborhood forward and make things better for us all. That's one of my goals to do through working in my neighborhood. Improve every family by improving our neighborhood, and it'll improve LaGrange. I'm Norma Tucker, and I'm the story of LaGrange.